What's up, y'all, and welcome to another edition of the Take One Spoilercast. And this one, I will be talking about episode 4 of the Gifted Exit Strategy, and that's with a big X because X-Men. So, if you guys have heard my spoiler thoughts of the Walking Dead season 8 premiere, episode 1 or whatever, I tried to do a thing. I thought it was going to be a good idea to have like the synopsis of it, but since it is a spoiler review, or not even spoiler review, but my spoiler thoughts on it, it was like more than likely guys have seen this episode, so there's no point in me giving a synopsis of saying like, oh, this episode was about blah 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 blah, and you guys already know because you've seen it. So that's why you're listening. If not, then go watch the episode and then come back because this is a spoiler review. I will be touching on certain things that happen into the show. If you don't want to know and you watch the show, please do not keep listening. Watch the show, come back, and then get the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you have not seen this and you don't care, continue listening. I thank you for it. So let's get right into it. I don't think this is going to be a long episode. I really don't think. Maybe I'm going to try to go for 12 minutes. See what I can do. This episode is just mainly kind of like them trying to free Polaris and Reed because they get intel that they're being they're getting sent to this other prison, and so they want to figure out how they're going to break them out of jail and all this stuff, and so they strategize, and then they end up coming up with the whole thing of, okay, let's stop them on the way. We don't need to break into the prison. Let's just, while they're transporting them, let's just stop them. And so here goes the plan where they have Lauren and Andy basically end up busting out the tires, and then they do the whole extraction thing or whatnot. This whole episode, it tackles a couple things. It tackles one thing about the whole memory thing with Dreamer, with her giving Blink the vision or the memory of like Dreamer and gosh, what's the other guy's name? God, the leader guy. I'm still trying to learn these names. Forgive me, but she's giving Blink a memory of her, one of her memories, and kind of like put her in the position. So now Blink is kind of confused. You can see she's kind of confused up in this episode, just when she brings it to him and asks him like, what. Where do we ever go outside, this and that, because she has these vivid memories that she can't even sleep from, that they're just so much in her dreams and stuff like that, it's just really like taking her away, and she's trying to figure out where this is all coming from, because now she has feelings for this guy, and she just, she's trying to figure everything out, and it's like you starting to see the side effects that it's just stick right there. And you start to learn that Dreamer, she can implant memories or just implant thoughts, but she can't take them away. And so basically just the whole thing of them trying to figure out what they can do about it, because it's like, do we tell her or do we not? That way she won't be confused and stuff. And like, more than likely she'll understand that, this memory is a made-up memory. It's not real. And that they had to do it because they needed to save their people. So, I mean, it's simple like that. But, I mean, I could get where the moral dilemma comes with them trying, basically like holding it back and maybe not telling her, or, just, maybe waiting for a good time. I mean, I could see that. But it tackles that, and it's kind of like I want to see where it goes, like what happens more with it. Like, do it drive them crazy? Because he did mention several people that Dreamer had did that to, and it's like, where are they now? Like, what happened? They was real vague about it. Like, they wasn't really specific on certain things that happened. So I don't know. I want to see what happens more with that. And Polaris and Reed put in the same prison, and so they're Reed is really trying to talk to Polaris, and this what I was talking about in the last episode. This is Reed he's getting close to basically what he's been pushed away from, which is, he captures mutants, and he kind of like puts them away, and then that's basically it. He doesn't look at them as more than just mutants or just more than just, criminals or whatever. He never got intimate in the sense of like talking with them and getting to know them and actually seeing what they're going through, because now he's getting a taste of basically I guess you could say, like I said in the last one, like he's coming to his arc. He's changing, like he's mentally changing because he's finding out more information. He's getting to know certain mutants and seeing what they have to go through because he hasn't gone through this. So he's basically getting a taste of what it is from talking to old girl, from when he was trying to set up the guy and find the compound in the last episode, all the way into now when he's talking to Polaris, and Polaris is giving him basically just all this stuff of like just how it is to being a mutant, and how they're treated and stuff like that, and just the anger that she holds against him, and just for basically what he stood for. I ain't gonna say what he stands for because his mind is slowly changing, but basically his mind has changed because he's closer to it than he was before, with his children being mutants and then him being thrown into the situation that he's in right now. But it's like she's basically enlightening him, and he's getting more into it. And so now it's like she still harbors all this hatred from, just from what he stood for, and just the type of person that he was and what he fought for. And it's crazy. And it's just basically just kind of like, I ain't gonna say tough love, but sometimes you have to do something, I don't know, like a person, I guess you could say, is in a tough love type sense, whatever. Like you have to do something harsh in order to get a good reaction, and basically he has to be basically hated in order for him to realize all the stuff that he's done. And so he's starting to realize that, and he sees that he's in a position where he needs her help. And it's like they basically can help each other because she wants to get out, he wants to get out. He wants to get to his family, she wants to get to basically her family, which is the other mutants in, the compound. And so it's like they feel like they have to work together. It's like bitter enemies have to work together to get together. And it's like, in a sense, they're not enemies, but she still don't like him. So he's trying to get her on board so that they can come up with a plan for where if an opportunity arises, then, whatever. But so we get to the other point where it's just kind of like they set up this whole thing to extract both of them, Polaris and all this stuff, to set up this whole thing. So Andy or Andrew, whatever, I don't know, I feel weird calling him Andy. But Andy and Lauren are on the roof, and they're trying to but basically trying to continue on with the plan. The plan slowly goes awry as he can't harness his power, so she has to, help him. Which it shows that, like, he's still, like, his powers are still immature. He doesn't know how to control them. That he needs help and all that stuff, and that he's gonna need the training. Which I don't understand why they haven't really tried to train him while he's down there in the mutant underground or whatever you want to call it. Because more than likely they kind of know, because a lot of them know how to use their powers to the point, so maybe they can give him some pointers, but they haven't. Nor really, I mean, because like they actually went out and showed Blink, tried to help her figure out how she can control her powers, and he hasn't really been, helped. So I don't know. it is whatever. But so they end up doing that, and then things just go awry because they have this guy that's on the side that used to be with the mutant underground. This guy named Pulse, who has a power to where he can basically stop any mutant's powers within a 2-block radius. And so it's kind of like a neat power to have. And so they basically have to struggle to try and get basically them free, Polaris and Reed, without using their powers because of that. And so it puts them in an awkward position, which this is actually a pretty good little scene. I like the whole dilemma, not I ain't gonna say dilemma, but the situation that they were put in, and just how they had to deal with it and all that stuff. It was actually a pretty good scene. I enjoyed it. What's next? But even like before that, matter of fact, I'm skipping ahead. God damn it, I'm skipping ahead. But in this episode, it dives more into Marcos, aka Eclipse. It dives more into his background and basically what he was a part of, and it showed that he was a part of the cartel. You basically more than likely they were using him for his power, and more than likely, I mean, from this it shows that they gave. I'm guessing that they gave him the name Eclipse because his power, he can blind people with it, and it showed that he was more of a person of torture, and that's basically what they was used for. Just kind of like I guess you could say for protection, and just as a somewhat kind of a muscle if they needed it. And so yeah, it shows that he really didn't want to do it. Even he said like he doesn't want to do it, but he has to in order to save Polaris. To basically find out where this transport is going to take place and all this stuff, where they're going and all that stuff. And one thing that I could say is that this dude walked out on a beautiful chick. This chick, she looked awesome. Like, man, she was fucking cute. Like, I couldn't keep my eyes off of her. I'm just like, yo, man, I love women. I just love them. Just beautiful creatures. And she's just one of them. She's just so fine. But that's one thing. I didn't get why he left her. But, I guess, it outweighs, him being up in the cartel. He didn't want to do that. So he ended up working out a deal to where she helped him out because she is basically she took control over it after her father retired. And so she sets up a deal with him that she would help him out this one time, and that whenever she calls, he has to come, no questions asked. And so you can tell that he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to do it, but he has to do it. So when you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And that just shows that he has more of a complex life. So I hope they dive more and more into that. It does seem pretty interesting. And so, getting back to the end of the episode, turns out to a shootout. And I don't know, like, it seemed like it was, I don't know, like the ending, how they escaped out of the thing or whatever. It seemed like it was just too cookie cutter, if that's the way to put it. It just seemed like it was too easy. I don't know. I mean, even though they had like struggles, like one of the mutants got shot and stuff like that, even though they had their, struggle with the whole situation, it just really seemed like it was easy, She ended up getting nails out of Reed's knees or whatever, the metal parts out of his knees, and ended up killing the guards and getting out, and then just walking away. And then she was able to like fend off all the cops and able to run and blah blah. So it's like, okay, so that you're transporting humans. Well, not humans. That you're transporting a mutant. That that other mutants are going to more than likely try to get her out. More than likely. I ain't gonna say it's like 95%, but somehow that you're going to be in some type of trouble, so you need to be prepared for it. Even if they don't come, you have to prepare for it. And so why wouldn't you bring them sentinels that you brought last time? Why wouldn't you bring some type of device? I mean, you had Pulse, which is cool, but why wouldn't you bring some other type of like machinery or something that you can stop these mutants from basically extracting your prisoners? That I didn't get. But in any case, they get out and go back to the compound, and that's where the episode ends. And overall, this was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best out of the four, but I enjoyed it. It was good. I had some problems with it, but I really did enjoy it. If you guys are listening to this and you haven't watched the show, I hope that I ain't gonna say commentary, my thoughts put you towards the show. To at least check it out. You know, all the tastes are different. All film, any type of media is subjective. You know, I may feel a way about a certain movie or show that then you feel. You know, you may like it, I might hate it, or I might like it, you may hate it, or something like that. I mean, however, I mean, it is what it is. I say give it a check. You know, if you haven't checked it out, if you're just listening to this and all this stuff, and that's basically about it. You know, just give it a check out. See if you like it. Continue watching it. Continue listening to this. You know, and all that good stuff. And I think that's it. That completes my thoughts, and it completes this edition of the Take One Spoilercast. I will catch you guys again on the next Spoilercast. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a movie review or if it's going to be another one of these episodes, whether it's Walking Dead or The Gifted. But yeah, I will catch you guys later. Peace out.